So the treatment modalities of these pulp treatments can be divided into two types, that is vital pulp therapy and non-vital pulp therapy. To diagnose a particular case, okay, the first important aspect, or to plan a treatment plan for a particular case, it is better to know whether a vital pulp is left over or not. So by which you can plan a procedure which is related to vital pulp. If it is non-vital pulp, you can plan a procedure which is related to non-vital pulp. So the vital findings of the pulp, they may give sometimes as an investigations. For example, EPT, electric pulp test, or cold test values, or any of these values, they are going to give as an information in the question. Or the findings, okay, in few cases, by seeing the findings, you can diagnose whether the pulp is vital or non-vital, by which you can simply go for the diagnosis. Like if it is a non-vital pulp, you can go for this non-vital pulp therapist. If it is a vital pulp, you can go for vital pulp therapist. And I hope you know that's vital pulp therapist, where a protective base is given in the case of any type of restoration to protect the pulp. Or your pulp therapist, which we have discussed in the pulp therapy video, that is indirect pulp capping, direct pulp capping, and pulpotomies. Or the recent one, what we have diagnosed, that is the apexogenesis with a leftover pulp therapy and the regenerative endodontics. Okay, so the regenerative endodontics is a part of a vital pulp therapy. Means it can be done in a non-vital cases also, but it is considered as a vital pulp therapy because you are regenerating the vitality of the pulp. Okay, so adding this in a vital pulp therapy is a bit of controversy, so you can exclude this particular part, but rest all you can easily, like by seeing the vitality of the pulp. So these can be the procedures that can be done. For example, if it is a regenerative case, the most important thing is a non-vital pulp with an open apex case, and preferably the age of the patient or the age of the candidate should be very young, so the regenerative chances will be high. Okay, so this is the key point that you have to learn. If you want to get a good clear-cut idea, you can go back and check the regenerative endodontics video, which is available on our website. So these are the case-based approaches where you have to find out the solution. Okay, so question is, a 8-year-old child with a chief complaint of discolored teeth, keyword discolored teeth, in the upper front tooth region from past 3 months, with a history of trauma and a nasal bleeding while playing cricket, and diagnosis of the case and the treatment done for this is. So they have given some clinical pictures of the treatment also. Okay, you can see a periapical lesion here. This is a working length. Here it is BMP is done. They have kept in a root and filling material, followed by they have filled it, and they have gone for the post-ender restoration. So these are the this is a treatment procedure that is done. For example, if you just go and have a look, 8 years gives an idea that 8-year period is not a period where your root apexes are going to close. Most of the root apexes are going to close in the duration of 9 to 11 years. Okay, so 8 years where the root apex is in the process of root end closure. So you can see a open apex in this case, but you can clearly see the discolored teeth. Discolored teeth means the pulp is non-vital. Okay, pulp is non-vital. Necrotic teeth will be discolored. So pulp is non-vital. So you have to go for a non-vital pulp therapy in an open apex case. So in an open apex case, there is no, because you can see a periapical lesion, there is no closure of the apex here. So you need to keep something to stop the closure. Okay, so what you're doing is you're filling MTA as a root and filling material. Okay, so this process is called as apexification. Okay, simply you can learn it. One is apexogenesis. Apexogenesis is the natural way. Genesis, you can easily remember. Genesis is something related to the nature. Means by natural way, the natural way of closure of apex with some vital pulp is called as apexogenesis. Whereas apexification means artificial. Apexification is artificial way, whereas apexogenesis is a natural way. In this, there is no natural way of closure of apex because the pulp is already gone. So there is no one to generate the dentin over that particular area to close the apex. So what we are doing, we are artificially doing it. So what is artificially closing of an apex, the artificial closure of an apex is called as apexification. So this procedure is called as apexification. So they may ask you the diagnosis. There is a trauma. Okay, there is a trauma. I'm not talking about pulp related diagnosis right now, because in endo we are going to discuss there are few modifications in the diagnosis part of the pulp and periapical region when compared to the normal regular things what we follow in most of our departments and colleges. So we'll talk about that in endo. Okay, for now we'll be talking about a normal diagnosis. So this is a trauma case, clearly given this is a trauma case, and leading to non-vitality. Non-vitality means discolored. So it is called as Ellis class 4. Okay, so it is Ellis class 4 and the treatment is apexification, because you're artificially, apexification is mostly done with a material called as MTA. They can ask you the question, the thickness of MTA, minimum MTA that is required for apexification. Apexification is 3 millimeters. Hope you're clear, right? So we'll go with the next case. The next case again 8 years. Because most of your questions will move around 8 years, 8 years or 7 years or 9 years, because this is an area where there is a high chance of occurrence of closure of apex, because the closure of apex is about going to do whenever you have a trauma, the apex closure will be hindered. So most of your questions related to apexification, apexogenesis, most of your questions, the year will be 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. Okay, so then you can predict that okay, the apex is yet to close, it is still open. 6 means wide open, 7 means little bit, 8 means a little bit, 9 means a little bit, 10 or 11 the apex will be closed according to the root and closure table, which we are going to learn in dental anatomy. Again, that is a very important concept, like when maxillary central incisor is going to close, when maxillary lateral going to close. All these questions are most common in anatomy. We'll learn that. So that part of root and closure has to be correlated here with the age of the patient, so that you will diagnose whether to go for an apexification procedure or apexogenesis procedure or a normal root canal treatment. So here an 8-year-old child with a chief complaint of pain in the lower back tooth region from few months, which increases on taking the cold food. Okay, so cold food is increasing the pain, means it is something related to pulpitis, not clearly given whether it is irreversible or reversible pulpitis, but in most of the situations it may be irreversible pulpitis, because pain is increasing upon taking the cold food. The following procedure is done by the consultant pedodontist. Okay, so they have given a photograph or a radiograph telling that this procedure has been done and what is this treatment. For example, if you just have a look, the procedure what is done by, for example, you can see still the apexes are open. Okay, and you can see the primary tooth were yet to erupt. Okay, so this is a duration or a phase where the apexes are still open, and the treatment, the procedure has given an idea that it is a pulpitis case. Okay, with this diagnosis you can confirm it as a pulpitis case, and you may go for a minimal pulpal therapy. That minimal pulpal therapy is removing of the coronal part of pulp. So you can see this, this is your enamel, this is your dentin, and this is your pulp horns and root canal. So what you have done is you have removed only the coronal part of dentin and leaving the radicular part. So assuming that the radicular part is vital, and this vital leftover pulp is going to help in the formation of root apexes, means this is a procedure of apexogenesis, means you are just giving a chance to the pulp, the leftover pulp, the natural pulp, to form the root apex. So still apexes are open. So this procedure of partial pulpotomy, which is done in this case, allowing the leftover pulp to regenerate the apical closure, is called as apexogenesis. But if you talk about the diagnosis of this case, okay, it's not clear, because the findings are not sufficient to diagnose the pulpitis. But upon seeing the treatment plan, what the pediatrician has done, you can diagnose that there is a reversible pulpitis, okay, which is very close approximating the pulp, and you have tried partial pulpotomy in this particular case. You have removed only some part of pulp, assuming that the leftover pulp is vital. I hope you are very clear. The next identify this endodontic procedure. Okay, this endodontic procedure is, you can see, like once you are done with an axis opening, this is an immature teeth. Okay, immature teeth with an open apex, and you are probing your file beyond the apex to induce the bleeding. So bleeding is inside, now the bleeding is inside, and upon which you have kept MTA, and upon which you have given a permanent restoration. This is called as regenerative procedure. You can go back and check the regenerative endodontics video, which is available on the YouTube channel, so that you will get a clear cut idea, because these are the recent things that lots of advances are done. Okay, so there is high chance that they will ask questions on regenerative endodontics, and I feel like to a UG level, regenerative endodontics is not that important. So most of you skip it, and even if you take the MCQ books which we are reading or which we are going through, they have never talked anything about regenerative endodontics. So it's mandatory that you have to learn some advanced things. That is, regenerative endodontics is mandatory. So this procedure is called as regenerative endodontics. Okay, the next question. Okay, the next question. I mean, like before seeing the data what they have given, it's very simple that there is some periapical lesion here. There not a severe periapical lesions, but you can see a periapical lesion here too. Here the radiolucence extending and approaching, almost approaching the pulp, and here it is clearly destroying the pulp. So here this procedure, you know that it is a pulpal lesion which leading to the periapical. This is, you are not clear about the pulpal, but there is a slight modification. You can see the loss of laminar dura in this case, where you can see an adjacent teeth. Like whenever you have a doubt, whenever you are not clear with the radiograph, always compare to the adjacent teeth. When you compare to the adjacent teeth, you can see a radio opaque layer, right? Okay, that is a laminar dura, where here there is no laminar dura. Laminar dura is clearly absent. Okay, that you can give an idea that there is some periapical change. Of course, whenever you have a periapical change, of course you can assume that, okay, there is a pulpal infection which is the main cause leading to the periapical lesion. Okay, let's see the data what is given. So it's a 28-year-old male patient. The chief complaint is pain in the lower back tooth region, that can be due to this or this, anything which subsides on taking medication. Clearly gives an idea that medication is used to subside, means that there is an infection. Following is the radiograph taken by the consultant and the diagnosis of the case and the treatment plan for this case. Okay, of course you can clearly say that there is an pulpal infection. So whenever you have a pulpal infection and the patient age is too high, then the only treatment option that is available, because you need to just have a look over the periapical area. If you have a look over the periapical area, the periapical areas are well closed. They are closed apexes. So when you have a closed apex, when you have a pulpal infection, the treatment plan what we do is just a root canal treatment. It's just a non-invasive endodontic procedure, okay, or non-surgical endodontic procedure. You're going to do a non-surgical endodontic treatment, a root canal treatment for this particular cases for both the teeth. Okay, so that's all. Okay, so make a note when to go for apexogenesis. Apexogenesis is natural way. When to go for apexification. Apexification is artificial way. So both these are done when you have open apex cases. Make a note, see whether it is open apex cases. Okay, open apex case, you have a vital pulp left over, then that is genesis. Open apex case, there is no vital pulp, non-vital teeth, then apexification. Open apex case, young individual, non-vital, and the patients are willing, patients are comfortable, then you can plan for regeneration. You can plan for regeneration. Regeneration is nothing but you're going to remove all the pulp, you're going to remove all the necrotic contents, and you're going to induce a bleeding by probing beyond the apex, so that from the open apex, beyond the apex you're probing. So periapical region is going to bleed and the entire root canal is going to fill with blood. So assuming that the periapical cells have high regenerative capacity, because most of your stem cells in the young patient will be present in the periapical region, okay, which mimics like a pulp regenerative cells. They come inside, they regenerate the pulp. So regenerative endodontics is done in dead patient, means regeneration when it is dead, when it is done in dead, it is done because you are trying to regenerate it back. Okay, so I hope you are very clear. A normal case, closed apex, vital pulp, close. If it is a closed apex and if it is a vital pulp is there, then you have to go for partial pulpotomies. If it is a closed apex, you have a non-vital teeth, then you have to go for a normal root canal treatment. So you need to expose to the questions and you need to apply the logic, then come out with the best treatment option. For example, an open apex non-vital teeth, you have both the options like apexification and apexogenesis. You have both these: apexification, apexogenesis, regenerative endodontics. Okay, so open apex non-vital, you cannot do apexogenesis, so apexogenesis is eliminated, so you are left over with apexification or regenerative endodontics. So definitely advanced treatment is a better option, regenerating is a better option, but you have to see the age of the patient. If the age of the patient is 28, there is no point of regeneration. Then you have to go for apexification followed by endodontic, post endodontic treatment. But when you have an young patient who has more stem cells, regenerative cells, then it's better to plan for a regenerator. If they are not mentioning the age of the patient, then always regeneration is a better option when compared to apexification. If regeneration is not there in the question, for example, if you take your MCQ books, most of the MCQ books, they don't talk about anything about regeneration. Even in the questions what they prepare, or in the questions which are given in the previous like 5 or 6 or 7 years back, there is no topic of regeneration, so they don't give any option related to regeneration. At that case, apexification is a better answer. If you have regenerative is going to better answer. I hope this video is useful for you, because application based thing, learn concepts and apply it. Application based is only in your hand. The way you think, the way you approach, the way you handle a case is an application based. Reading MTA, setting time MTA, pH of MTA, or calcium hydroxide pH, or anything that numerical based, or the person who is concerned with MTA, all these questions are single liners. Okay, if they're given in a question, there is no logic to apply here. If you know the number, you get a positive score. If you don't know, you get a negative score. But these questions whatever we have discussed right now, they may be varying according to the person. Like I may give 28 years, the next paper setter may give 12 years. So it's all application of your knowledge that is more important in handling the case based questions. Thank you for now. Stay positive, stay safe at home.